Hello, welcome to the Pop Off PCMag show where we talk about video games, the industry, news, trends, our opinions. Um, Today, so hopefully by the time you watch this and later on, there will hopefully be elections in the United States. Um, and because everything is political, including video games. So for this episode, we're going to talk about some of the ways recently video games and politics have been intersecting. And joining us today is my, let's say, friend, PC Mag's Max Eddy. Max, thanks for joining us.
Make it sound like we're secretly married or something, my friend.
No, I'm very publicly marrying somebody else, so um, that's not it. So yeah, Max, you play video games sometimes, but you also have a lot of political technology opinions. So I thought you'd be a cool guest for this
Yeah,
episode.
yeah, and it's it crossed over really well with my main work at PCMag is around security, which is entirely about politics these days. When we're living in a world where elections are a target for hackers and whatnot, like it definitely is in everyone's mind.
So we're gonna ramp up to that serious bit in a moment, but I thought we should start off with something a little bit lighter. I know one of the games that you have been playing, like everyone, has been Animal Crossing:
Hmm.
New Horizons on the Nintendo Switch. And then it came out not that long ago that presidential candidate Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have started a kind of virtual campaign strategy in Animal Crossing. You can get like Biden Harris, little lawn like images you can put on your island for like signs and stuff like that. What were your thoughts when you saw that, Max?
I thought it was really, really smart. Like, there's part of me that's like, oh, this is kind of lame, like they're trying to hitch their wagon to something popular. Like, if this was 20 years ago, it'd be Yu-Gi-Oh cards or some crap. But what I thought was really smart about it is that unlike a lot of other video games, there is nothing negative about Animal Crossing. It's all positive, everything. It's so feel good. There's never going to be a controversy where like there's a, I don't know, like in a lot of shooters where there's just a really tasteless level or something that gets everyone in a bunch of trouble. That's not going to happen in Animal Crossing. It's like completely safe for the candidates. And also, because of how the GOP has really positioned itself this year, they can't get in on this. Can you imagine a Donald Trump little dude with like the flowers coming out of his head? Like, that's not the brand, but it
Yeah,
worked.
hanging out with Tom Nook. He'd be the only one who'd be into him. It's
Oh
Tom
yeah.
Nook.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's a smart move. I just think the only kind of downside to it is just the politician who's doing it, of just um, it's just there's a danger of feeling like, oh, what are the kids into? Oh, this video game. As opposed to, because I think AOC did something pretty similar before all this. I think she was actually visiting people's towns
Yes.
for a hot
Yeah.
minute. But she seems like she has a more like legitimate stake, or like it's a more legitimate connection to the people who are playing that game. Because she'll go on like Twitch streams and talk about Donkey Kong.
Yeah, because
Um,
she actually seems to play it, whereas with the Biden Harris thing, like they had little knees of them, but there was no evidence that they had engaged with the game at all. So it does seem
right.
a little bit disingenuous, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, like our digital people are going to do that. And people are comparing it to Hillary Clinton's Pokemon Go to the polls thing, but we were talking about this. I think that anecdote gets kind of misconstrued because the way she says that has like a level of contempt, and like she knows that she doesn't know what she's talking about in a way that I find kind of honest, as opposed to like pandering, which I think this has a kind of danger of feeling like.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're two completely different political reactions. One of them is sort of like making a joke, brushing off whatever comment was. I think this she was like answering a question. Someone asked her about Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
Was it?
someone's like, "Do you know what that is?" Is like, I just hope that they Pokemon go to the polls. Like, yeah, like
Sure, why not?
I hate that I have to say this, but
Yeah, I think that this is very much a different thing. This is sort of taking a campaign choice in a new direction. I think it's actually more comparable to, we all forgot about it because everything went crazy in 2016, but Hillary Clinton put out an app that let you like take pictures of yourself and then put Trump quotes like next to you to sort of like demonstrate how ridiculous they were. That
mm,
didn't go anywhere, but that was very much in the trying to be in the moment, right? Because we were all editing our photos and posting them on Instagram and all that. This seems much more in that vein.
yeah. I also think it's just interesting as proof of Animal Crossing's like success and like saturation in culture at large, right? Like
Yeah.
that game came out this March. It's already, I think, on track to be the best selling Switch game, which is like what, like 25 million units or something like that. Last I looked. Um, I think it also just speaks to how well that game is doing. I just wonder how Nintendo feels about this, right? Like,
I have to imagine they're not pleased about it. Like they've always seemed to be very, very much trying to stay out of controversy as much as possible. Like you probably know more about that than I do.
I will
What
say
I
it's very interesting that Reggie, after retiring from Nintendo, has been a lot more public about being a black person. So, I mean, shout out to him. That's great.
I think it's interesting that a game that is so culturally Japanese is what's being used in an American election. Because there's stuff in that game, like you can get kimonos on racks, like things that are very rooted in a particular place that is not where this election is happening. And
Mhm.
it is a little bit fascinating to me that this like fundamentally American thing, our electoral process, is being done on a platform that was ported to this country and really like is so disconnected from it in so many ways.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if they were like campaigning in like The Sims or something, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Which is sort of even The Sims like doesn't really have any ties to any real place, I guess. I don't,
yeah,
now,
yeah. It's
No
funny.
Man's Sky. That's what we got to do. I got to get Joe Biden's face on a planet. That's what I want to see.
You gotta get him, or you could just have him like it just exploding in the fireworks. Like you have the different image in the fireworks. It's funny because like the DS one or the 3DS one was the one where you were the mayor, so they wanted a more political Animal Crossing.
That's right. I forgot about that completely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, look out for that on your island as we head into this election. We were talking a little bit about Twitch also during that, and something else I wanted to talk about here is the ways in which Twitch, the Twitch and politics are intersecting. Twitch is, obviously Amazon's live streaming service where people primarily stream themselves playing games. But in the recent past, we've seen everything from like some congressional hearings on Twitch to like AOC showing up on these charity streams, to like major candidates just having a Twitch presence. So yeah, like how do you feel about that?
I think it's really interesting to see the way that this concept of parasocial relationships has really just become part of the moment that we're living in, where like YouTubers, where the whole thing is we're looking dead. We're kind of doing it right now. Like you're looking dead into the camera. It feels like a personal interaction. You're sitting with someone doing kind of a mundane activity, but that's like fun and enjoyable to be in their presence. And we're now using that in a very like I don't think it's weird at all. It's like a totally logical extension to go to politics where it's sort of encouraged that you have a like an emotional parasocial relationship with politicians.
Hmm.
You know, you're supposed to think that they're like you, that they believe in you, that they share your values. It makes a lot of sense. It's a little gross.
Well, that's not even the grossest part. Kind of, the other side of that too is also we've seen the U.S. Army try to use Twitch as a recruitment tool. Um, and make it was another gaming website. It kind of was like average, like it's like a native ad, like, oh, talk, like interact with us, and the army is sponsoring this, and people were like, ew, to the point where they deleted the tweet. And then again, to go back to AOC, she had introduced, I think, or at least maybe she co-sponsored a bill to curb their ability to do that,
Hmm.
and that failed. But it does, it brings up the image of these ancient ghouls being explained what Twitch is. Um,
The Army has an interesting history with video games specifically. They have a video game that was fairly successful, as I recall. This is a long time ago now, but it was around. It was I was trying to remember the name of it earlier today, and I'm
is it
embarrassed.
America's Army? You think of?
Yeah, that is the one.
Okay.
America's Army. That is the one, and it did fairly well. Like I remember being like fairly well received among gamers. So like it's not surprising to me that they would try to move into adjacent spaces. I think it is interesting that Twitch, because Twitch sort of pushed them out eventually. Isn't that how that story ended? That they were pushed off the platform?
I mean, they're back on now.
Yeah.
I think they might push them off just as they're waiting to see where this bill went, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I think once it failed, they were like, all right, and they're
So
like, just don't talk politics in the chat.
what's interesting is that there was a backlash at all. Like, I think we're very much used to the military having a kind of omnipresent sense in American culture. You go to like NASCAR events or other popular sporting events, and you'll see Army recruiters there. You'll see them all over the place. So it's unusual. I think that there was a pushback at all that they're saying like, no, this space is not an okay place for you to do recruiting. And I wonder why that is actually.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I think part of it is, like regardless of political, I think there is like, it's not to give gamers credit. I do think like gamers are sensitive sometimes to when they feel like they're being exploited by people who don't have like any like real connection to them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think that could be part of it. Or
It's like,
they could just be disillusioned for a myriad of reasons.
yeah, or like it sounds like pandering, right? The gamers don't appreciate pandering. They want to have the authenticity, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of my read on it. But that's still going on. They're back on it, and we'll see how that goes. Obviously, no one can force anybody to sign up. It's still ultimately their choice. It's just like a kind of an advertising.
I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
we
I
all
mean, they're not using Twitch as like a draft.
well, I was gonna say like we registered for the draft. Like that's a thing we all did.
Right, but I'm saying like right now at least they're not like oh, if you watch the stream, you're in.
What is it like in the 1700s or something, where you take the king's guinea in the bottom of your glass of beer that some British guy shoved into your hand, you get impressed into the navy or whatever.
Oh man, there's so much darker we could go with this line of thought. So that's like the perfect segue then to I think the kind of the last topic we want to talk about here is yeah, you cover a lot of the ways in which technology and the elections in general intersect. And obviously gamer culture and technology, there's a lot of overlap there. So yeah, as we kind of head into this election, like yeah, what are some of your thoughts about how that could play, in terms of like meddling and things like that?
There's been a lot of discussion in security circles about sort of tactics that we saw first from communities online engaging in what we probably wouldn't consider to be mainstream political speech, but then being ported into it. So a great example is during the Democratic primaries, there was all that kerfuffle with the app where the app wasn't working, but the real problem was that the people who were at the polls were not able to call in to report it manually. And that was because the phone number for reporting had been dropped onto 4chan, an 8chan or some chan website,
Mm-hmm.
and people just bombarded it with calls. So why were they doing that? Was that really, were they also offended by the idea of a Democratic primary, or was it just because they wanted to troll some people and it was like a really easy, low stakes way to do that? So that's like a naturally occurring denial of service attack. So we're starting to see like this crossing over of tactics. I think Gamergate is another really good example. It's been cited by a lot of people.
We were talking about Steve Bannon's WoW farm, his gold farm, before this. That's cool that happened.
Why do we live in this world? Yeah, so Gamergate, I think, was definitely ahead with a lot of tactics that we then saw used by the Internet Research Agency. And I don't want to say like, oh yeah, the Russians are definitely taking pages from the Gamergate playbook, but a lot of them are very similar. And I think that the sort of social fractures that Gamergate exposed, as well as other online controversies, were definitely exploited during Russian disinformation operations in 2016, because that was, I was reading some research about it this morning, like that was the main goal with a lot of the Russian operations, was to sort of get into wedge issues in the United States and just make them really big and really uncomfortable for everybody. And also deploying memes and sort of like the ancillary culture that goes along with these operations is very much from like, they were Gamergate memes, like almost immediately, like people making in jokes about this like horrific thing they were doing.
And I think an important distinction when you say wedge issues is that there are issues that already existed. It's not like, because I get a little annoyed sometimes where people talk about like, oh, people sometimes sound as if the Russians like invented racism in America, like to like throw the election, which is very much not the case. But yeah, you're right. That's still exploiting divisions that already exist in a big way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting too, is to see one of the reasons, there was this big deal a little while ago about whether or not the Russians were given polling data from the GOP, and that's come up in various investigations recently. But part of the reason why you would want to do that is because Russia doesn't necessarily understand how American culture works. So like Russia didn't invent racism, but they did have to learn it from us. And that can be difficult if you don't really understand the way the culture operates. I think the difference now between 2016 and now is that it's probably going to be much more subtle than it was in 2016.
Cool. That's a cool thought to leave us out on, is that it's going to be even harder to stop and detect. I think it's just wild that, being someone who covers games in, 2014, having a front row seat to like the same sorts of tactics that are just going to end up destroying the world.
I'm personally floored by the idea that clever memes are like a a thing that a country that builds intercontinental ballistic missiles also needs to invest in right now. And that's just completely mind-blowing to me.
Cool. So people with good politics invest in memes also. All right, that's a lot to think about going to this election here. So I got to go lie down. Max, thanks so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.